welcome back to another project update. This one for the month of November 2017. We have a lot in store this month, got a lot done down here on the layout, a couple new acquisitions, lots of finished projects, and another project that saw some progress that hasn't seen progress since the beginning of the year here. So we'll hop right into it, and we'll start out with the new acquisitions portion this month. I went to two different train shows in the month of November. The first at the Batavia train show, which I picked up one car at. I'm already not in possession of that car because I actually traded it to a friend. When I went to the show, I really had the intention of it eventually getting into his hands, ultimately anyway. So we'll show you that in the finished projects portion, but I will show you the new acquisition, the car I kind of traded to, or the car I traded for, which is this American Limited Norfolk Southern 2-bay Trinity covered hopper here. Very, very impressed. I mean, I've had American Limited 2-bays in the past, but I'm really, really happy to have that Norfolk Southern one here on the layout finally. It'll be getting a light weathering, nothing too crazy, but it will be getting a little bit here coming up. The second car I have here that's a new acquisition is also coming from that same friend as part of sort of a deal to super detail one of his locomotives for him. He has a Walthers SD70M-2 in the Canadian National scheme that I'll be working on here shortly for him, and rather than payment for the service, he went ahead and traded me this Southern 3-bay Atlas covered hopper here. These things look pretty interesting in real life. I was able to find a couple of actual prototype pictures for this car specifically, and I'm going to go ahead and weather that up as prototypically as I can based on that car. The third new acquisition that we have here is one that I picked up at the Buffalo train show, the one at the Hamburg Fairgrounds. It's an Athearn ready-to-roll Vermont Railways patched box car here. I am having a heck of a time trying to find prototype pictures of this particular box car so that I can get it weathered. I can't seem to find any at all, in fact. So I'm pretty much genuinely convinced that this paint scheme actually didn't exist, which is very disappointing to me. That Athearn would put that sort of scheme into production if it didn't actually exist. It's a very good looking car, but you know, to me it just bugs the heck out of me that it's not an actual prototype. Then again, I could be wrong and I'm just not finding any pictures, so if any of you guys listening and watching this video have prototype pictures of that particular car, that particular paint scheme, let me know. I would love to see pictures, and I'll definitely use them for prototype weathering if somebody's got pictures for me. Alright, so that basically does it for new acquisitions. I have one more, but it's also a finished project. So we'll get into the works in progress portion of this video. And the big thing I worked on this month that's been put on the back burner for the most part this year is this Dash 940C build. This car, or excuse me, this locomotive really didn't see the light of day for most of the year, and it really, I haven't done much to it in the last couple weeks here, but I did get a little bit done. I dull coated it so it's not quite as glossy, and I've since come to find out that apparently I shouldn't have dull coated it until after the decals were on. I learned that from somebody that is much more tenured at custom painting than I am. So I'll have to keep that in mind next time I do a custom paint job. This one's just kind of for the fun of it anyway. It's kind of a learning curve for me. Not the most perfect build by any means. And I'm not sure it'll ever completely see the light of day. It was kind of just, you know, me practicing, puttering around with paint and seeing what I could do. It still might amount to something, but you know, for the most part, I think it's just kind of gonna sit around until I find a really good deal on a chassis and I'm ready to finish it up. But anyway, I did get the decals on, well, some of the decals on, NS Horsehead, both the front and back logos, and then I also spray painted the unibrow, as most people call it, on the front there. Other than that, the project didn't seem much, you know, progress, but I thought I'd update you guys on that because it is a custom build and it is kind of a unique locomotive, because of the fact that Norfolk Southern is the only one who owns and has owned any of these things, so kind of hard to come by. Anyway, that's the only work in progress for this month. I do have 4 finished projects with me, and then the one that I talked about with that I traded to my friend there. The first finished project I have here was a new acquisition, either last month or the month before that, I don't recall which, but it's this CN boxcar, this Gunderson here. This past month, as you'll see as we go forward, I've been getting very much into custom graffiti here. I did start to embrace the custom side of things here with the graffiti. That this is all per the prototype. This is graffiti that's actually on the car. Well, at least I matched it up the best I could to the car, at least. I did that, and then you'll also notice that the wheels are all custom weathered. There's a light fade on it. This car is in pretty good shape, as is. So not a lot done to it, other than the custom graffiti there. So that one's all set. The next finished project is actually the ACFX patched covered hopper here. I finally did get that done. I got the decals ordered, and I put on the ACFX patch. It's a great looking car now. I'm super excited to have that finished and on the layout running around as a finished product now. The next thing we have to talk about was a new product or new acquisition in the last project update, and that's this Norfolk Southern boxcar. I know I had this also in the finished project or product part of last month's project update as well, but I did go ahead and add some graffiti to this car. Now this in particular is not custom by any means. You'll see that's good old Dexter from Dexter's Laboratory on Cartoon Network there. That was one of my best friend's favorite TV shows growing up, so I love having that on there. It reminds me of him every time I see that. Now this Norfolk Southern car actually did have graffiti in this exact location, and you know, unfortunately it was way beyond my ability to actually replicate that, so I got a decal that was very similar in color and shape, and tried to use that to replicate the graffiti that's on the car to the best of my ability. With that being said, I do want to talk a little bit about the specific decals that I used for this project. These are ones that I got from Midwest Model Railroad Supply, I believe is the store. I got them off their eBay page. They have their own website and everything too. But these are Blair Line graffiti decals, and I did not know how great of a decal I was buying when I purchased these. These are absolutely amazing decals. They're laser cut so that you don't have to cut them yourself. And anybody that's ever cut graffiti decals out of this, out of the paper, knows how big of a pain it is to try to get these cut out perfectly. You never end up getting them cut out perfectly. And the ones that are on the white paper, you have to get them as close to perfect as you can, or you have extra white just showing through, and the decals don't look all that great. These ones being laser cut and on the white paper, they are absolutely perfect. They show up well, as you saw on the Dexter's Laboratory car, and you'll see on one of the upcoming cars, the one that I finished for my friend. He's got one of these decals on it as well. They are absolutely wonderful decals. I highly recommend them. Again, those are Blair Line graffiti decals. They're the mega sets, they call them. Definitely would recommend those for anybody looking to put some graffiti on their cars. I ended up getting 3 sets. I have a ton left to use, and I can't wait to keep using them because they're absolutely great. Okay, so the last car that I have with me that was it's both a new acquisition and a finished project. This is one that I've been looking for quite a while, trying to find it to do the weathering and everything. It's this Lake Erie and Franklinville boxcar. I did this thing as close to the prototype as I possibly could. This particular graffiti there, everything along the bottom here, and everything on this side, even that one, which, you know, is kind of pushing the limit of whether it's appropriate or not. All of that is per the prototype. All the rust spots and everything per the prototype. I'll see if I have a prototype picture to throw up in the video here too. But yeah, everything is per the prototype on this car. I'm absolutely loving the way it turned out. You'll see it also has the weathered wheel sets as well. This car just turned out absolutely magnificently. I spent a ton of time working on it. It was not an easy project for me to finish because I just wanted to have it perfectly. The car is patched for Genesee and Wyoming Railroad GNWR 7015. This is a car that actually exists. Like I said, I based it on the prototype. Worked really hard on this thing, and I'm super excited about the way it turned out. Very, very happy with it. So that's all for the cars I have in front of me. The only other car that I have is a covered hopper, like I said, that I picked up at the Batavia show. It's an ADM Athearn RTR covered hopper. It turned out pretty good. I'll throw the pictures up here right now, and you can see for yourself. But I think it turned out really well.
Just you make sure you're keeping your loving pure.
And that's about it for this project update, guys. Got a lot done. Hoping to get just as much done here in the month of December coming up. Got a few bigger projects that I'd like to tackle. Another train show to go to. Should be actually running at the Rochester Institute of Technology layout one more time here before the year's end. So we'll see what happens. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching. If this is your first time watching and you enjoyed the video, please feel free to subscribe, hit the like button, and we'll hope to see you again on another video. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next one. Thanks, bye.